Uh, Good morning, guys. So, in our last session, we have discussed about Linux operating system and how we can make it as a web server, right? So, here in today's session, we are going to discuss about the volumes in our Linux operating system. So, any questions before starting the session, guys?
Hello, Avinash.
Yes, please.
You said that you have to connect the Linux server through CMD prompt, no CMD command by using.
Mhm.
It is also get connected by using the Git bash.
Yes.
Both are same only, no. You
Yeah,
can
both are
connect by that
same.
way. Yeah.
You can choose any method. So
Okay,
I
okay.
have explained total three,
Yeah,
and
CMD one.
in
Yeah.
this total four methods I have explained. So whatever the one is comfort to you, you can just go and choose that.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Avinash, in real time, what do we mostly use, Linux or Windows?
Most of the servers is going to be Linux,
Thank
but
you.
of course
Okay.
we definitely use Windows also. Not all 100% servers are going to be Linux and all. So I can say 65 and 35. 65
Okay.
percentage or 70% we use Linux and 30% we use Linux servers, Windows servers.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so let me quickly launch a Linux EC2 instance and then we will discuss about the volumes. So I'm going to launch Amazon Linux 2 AMI. Click on select and I'm going to take T2 micro. Here I'm going with all the default options and I'm going to choose 8 GB for root volume. Along with that root volume, I'm going to add one more GB volume. Right. So by defaultly, just like Windows, this volume will not be available whenever we launch an EC2 instance. So we need to perform OS level operations to make this available. Otherwise, after launching EC2 instance also, you can associate both are going to be same. So let me go with this 8 GB at moment. Tags, you can give any tag. So Linux instance, then click on next. And I'm going to choose an existing security group, Linux SG. That is open with port number 22. That must be open. Then only you can get connected to it. Port number 80. If you made it as a web server, if you're delivering that, then port number 80. Then review and launching. What key pair you want to use? I have launched my EC2 instance here. Right. So now let's get connected to this EC2 instance. Once it is up and running. So if you navigate to backend EVS volumes, we have one 8 GB volume. So now the instance is up and running. So I'm going to grab the public IP address. So I'm going to use command prompt to get connected to this instance. SSH-I, then key pair EC2-user @ public IP address. Click on enter. I'm giving yes, and there you can see we got connected to it. So now I'm working as a EC2-user. So sudo space su to switch to root user. All right. So now I want to see how many block-based devices associated to this EC2 instance. So for that, the command is lsblk, list all block-based devices. So XPDA is a device name. So 8 GB is associated. It is mounted to root slash. In Windows, everything starts like an operating system and everything starts in C drive, right? In Linux operating system, everything starts from this slash. Okay, so now I want to associate another volume and I want to run this. Even if you want to get more details about this file system and all, you can give df space hyphen capital th. You can even give just h, or you can give capital th. So whenever you are giving this capital T, right, it is going to show us what type of file system we are using. As I have not given capital T, the type, it is not showing any file system directly, file system name and size it is showing. So get familiar with this. You can understand the file system also. So if you, these are the temporary file systems. No need to worry that operating system is going to take care about that, right? Tempfs. So dev xpda1 contains a file system called xfs. The size is 8 GB. Out of the 8 GB, operating system taken 1.4 GB, 6.7 GB is available. 18% is a used percentage and it is mounted on slash. Okay, so we are using lsblk and df space capital hyphen th commands. So lsblk is going to list all the block based devices. List the available devices at OS level. So how many associated? First you can find that here. Then after you need to make it available here. So it involves with two steps. Now I'm not going to touch that 8 GB. I'm going to create another volume and I'm going to associate that here. So basically this EC2 instance is running in AP South 1B. So we need to create another volume in AP South 1B only. Click on create volume. I'm going to create 1 GB and I'm going to take AP South 1B. Do you want to encrypt? You can give this and I'm going to call this as additional volume. Okay, so then click on create volume. I have created additional volume here, but is it associated? No, it is in available state. So let's navigate here, select this, actions, attach volume. So then click here, it shows all the available instances in AP South 1B, pick the required instance. See, here it is going to show dev SDF, but there is no guarantee to get the same in our OS level. So leave that, then click on attach. So now it is going to change the status to in use. All right. So now let's go to your EC2 instance. Sometime back when I gave LSBLK, it shows only this 8 GB volume. Now I am giving LSBLK. See, XPDF. A new volume came. What is the size of that? 1 GB. Right. Let's write down the name of this. So basically all file systems are going to be stored under /dev. So new volume name is going to be /dev xvdf. Write down this name. If you want to double confirm this, give cd/dev. So whenever you go to /dev, our present working directory is /dev. Give ls. So if you observe, see xpda1 is there, xpdf newly added one. So this is what xpdf is. Okay. So now clearing the screen. So I want to make that available. But before that, I want to see, do I have any file system inside that volume? Right. So basically, we know we just created that and we have associated. But I'm suspecting we might have some file system inside that, right? For that, we can use a command called file -s, then we can give the path. So dev xpdf. Whenever we are trying to give, it is showing data. If it is showing data, that means there is no file system inside this. Whenever it is showing data as an output, there is no file system. So file to check file system on existing volume, then the command is file hyphen space s, then dev xpdf. In our case, so there is no guarantee to get xpdf always. It might be xpdb, xpdc, xpdd, that you need to verify by giving lsblk name. This name how we got? By giving lsblk command. So this output showed as a data, so there is no file system. All right. So lsblk-f also you can give. See, whenever we are giving lsblk-s, so this is showing fs type, file system type as a xfs. But for this xpdf, is it showing anything? It's showing nothing. So there is no file system inside this xvdf. So it is a raw, or we just associate it to our EC2 instance. So in that case, we need to make it available by writing a file system to this volume. So to write a file system, very simple command, mkfs, make file system. Mkfs, what type of file system you want to take? Okay, xfs is a file system widely used. Mkfs space mkfs, make file system, then type, you can choose a type. Xfs is a type where you are going to write. So I'm going to write that file system here. So this command, write xfs file system to new volume. This is what this command will do. Right. So now grab this, give this here. Come on, it's not copied, I think. Enter. There you can see there is a file system. Now if we give lsblk-f, see, it is showing xfs file system. A minute back there is no file system inside this, but whenever we write this, now it is showing xfs file system. And even if you give file-s dev xpdf, see, xfs file system data, earlier what it has shown? It has shown, see, it just shown data. There is no file system and all. So here you observe dev xpdf xfs file system data. So that means this volume now contain xfs file system. In Windows, we have FAT, FAT32, NTFS, ReFS, right? Similarly, now in Linux operating system, for this particular volume, we have given a XFS file system. So now we got a file system to that volume, and is that sufficient to, like, start writing data and all? No, we need to mount that. So now if you gave lsblk, it is showing another volume. That's fine. Earlier also it have shown. If you are giving df space capital -th, it is not showing. This xpdf should show whenever we give this command. So to get that, we need to mount. Basically, this is going to show only mounted volumes. So now we need to mount. So here we check the file system. We have written the file system to that volume, and now we need to mount to start using it. So basically in Windows operating system, we are going to mount it to a drive letter, C drive, D drive, E drive. But in Linux operating system, basically we are going to mount it to a directory. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a directory mkdir. Then you can give a name. For example, new volume. I'm going to create a directory mkdir new volume. So is this created? Yes, by giving ls, I have verified that it got created. Okay, so now to this new volume, I'm going to mount this 1 GB. So technically, when I go inside this new folder after mounting, if I go inside this new volume, if I write any data, technically that stores in this 1 GB volume. Okay, so for that, the command is mount. So then what is the source? So my source is going to be /dev xvdf. Then space where you want to mount. I want to mount in new volume. Just you can give new volume. So let's give that mount /dev xvdf. So then I'm going to mount it to new volume. I'm using tab. Don't write manually. Use tab always in Linux operating system. Then press enter. All right, it got mounted now. So after mount happened, whenever you are giving df space hyphen captain th. See earlier, this 99 MB is the last one, but now see dev xpdf with a file system called xfs. 1 GB is a size, 4% is a used, that system reserves some data. See where it got mounted. It got mounted to new volume. So even if you give lsblk -f, this time see xpdf is there, and see his it is mounted to /home ec2-user new volume. So now if you go inside this particular path, whatever the thing you are going to write, technically the data returns into this 1 GB volume. So let's go inside this new volume and create anything. Touch a.txt, touch v.txt, you can create anything. So these files got created. So technically these files are within that 1 GB volume. And whatever the mount we perform now, basically it is a temporary mount. It is a temporary mount. If we reboot our EC2 instance, let me go here, let me show you. I am rebooting our EC2 instance. So clear so far, guys? Whatever the things we are performing. So first of all, we get the information of the volume by giving lsblk command. This is a name. And we have verified, we know, but just to double check, we have verified, do we have any data or file system inside that by giving this command? There is no file system. So what we did, we have given a file system. We have written a file system to this mkfs-t xfs space dev, the path we have given. Okay. So after that, I have created directory. This directory name, you can give anything. You can give your name also. There is no standard one. So I have given that. Then after I have mounted this new volume to whatever the folder we created. Right. Then whenever we go inside this by giving cd new volume, there whatever the data you create, that technically stores under this 1 GB volume. But as I mentioned, whatever the mount I perform here, basically this is a temporary mount. To make it as a permanent mount, to do permanent mount, so we need to add an entry to fs tab file. So basically this fs tab file location is /etc/fs tab. So in this particular file, we need to add entry related to this new volume. So when OS got rebooted, automatically it is going to pick that. Okay, so let's do that. So now instance got rebooted. So we need to get connected to this instance again. So sudo space su, clearing the screen. And if I'm giving df '-th, again the last one is gone. But when I'm giving lsblk -f, xpdf is there. File system also is there, but this mount point is gone. Okay, so Now this should mount it to that particular path automatically. So for that, once you're done with the mount, so mount dev xpdf to new volume. Whenever you did this, yes, again if you gave lsblk-f, then you will get this. But this after every reboot, we should not execute this command, right? Mount command. So instead of that, whenever you execute this for the first time or later on, you need to add an entry to this fs tab. What entry you need to add? So that you can get the entry information from /etc mtab file. So I want to open this file. So just open and verify the information. For that, cat etc mtab. Whenever you give this command, what happened? This file is going to open, right? So I'm going to give cat /etc mtab. Click on enter. See the last entry. So this dev xpdf, we are mounting to home EC2 user new volume. The XFS is a file system. Then remaining are the properties of that. So this entry, copy this entry need to write into this fstab file. This particular entry as it is, just copy this. Now open this fstab file. So I'm going to use vim editor, vim/etc fstab. Press enter. Now we are in fstab file. Press I to go to insert mode. This is an existing entry. Where we are using that existing entry? We are using it for root volume. As entry is there for root volume, that's why it is available after the reboot also. Okay, I have added the entry. Press escape :WQ. Okay, so now if you are trying to give cat etc fstab, there is an entry related to root volume. Now there is an entry related to dev xpdf also. So now after reboot also, we are going to get the volume automatically. So now whenever we go inside this new volume, whatever the files you have it, right? So now I'm going to reboot this. So let's go here. I'm going to reboot this instance. After reboot also, automatically we are going to get all the files. That volume is a permanent mount. So to do permanent mount, we need to add an entry in fstab. To get the entry information, from etc mtab file. So cat etc mtab and look for the most recent entry related to our volume, then copy it and write this information to /etc fstab file. So for that we have used vim /etc fstab. This and paste the above information. Don't delete that existing one, guys. So here whenever we are giving cat, it is showing this existing one, right? Don't delete it. If you accidentally delete this one, your OS is not going to boot. You need to do a lot of things. Lot of things means you need to stop this instance, you need to detach this volume, you need to attach to another server, then you need to correct this, then only this volume can be used as a root. Otherwise, no. Okay, so don't touch that existing one. Not only here, anywhere, don't touch. Right? So now we have connected to this instance. So if you are navigating to new volume, if you give ls a.txt and b.txt is there. So no need to perform anything. Why? Because we made it as a permanent mount. So any questions on the process we performed so far? This is making a new volume available to Linux EC2 instance. Any questions for me, guys?
Avinash, let's say I already have some data in new volume and I mount this
Forget
new.
about that. That's what our coming topic is.
Okay, okay, fine.
All right. So now, let's take scenario 2. So that we already have a volume, but this volume size is 1 GB. So what we are doing, we keep on adding some data. We keep on adding some data. So then, the size is full. So you have observed that df space capital hyphen th. So here it is showing that is almost 90% used and 120% used and all, right? 90% is used or 100% used here. So then you decided to increase the size of this volume. So in that case, what you need to do, just like a Windows operating system, as a first step, what you need to do, select the volume, navigate to actions, modify volume. So far, the size is 1 GB. Now, I'm going to make it 2 GB. I'm going to make it 2 GB. Then click on modify. Click on modify. Say, are you sure you want to modify this volume? Just give yes. Right. Now, at console level, this is going to become as a 2 GB. This becomes as a 2 GB. But now, whenever we navigate to operating system, if you verify, are we going to get the 2 GB or 1 GB size? Whenever we are giving df space hyphen capital TH, see it is showing 1014 MB, that technically 1 GB only. Even if you gave LSBLK, will it show 1 GB or 2 GB? It shows 2 GB. How much you mounted and all, it shows here. How much you provisioned and all, it shows here. But it should be available here, right? Then only we can. So we have added the required size that got reflected, that we confirmed by using LSBLK. Now we have to make it available. Okay, for that, we need to increase the file system of that particular volume. So for that, the command is xfs underscore grow fs to increase the existing volume size. This is a process. So give xfs grow fs, then hyphen d, then what is a volume? So new volume file system you want to increase, that you can give. Sometimes in some operating, in Amazon Linux, you by defaultly get this xfs grow fs. But in some operating system, if you don't have that xfs grow fs, you can give yum install xfs progs. This command to install xfs tools. So whenever it is giving an error, then only you would just go and execute this. So now let me go here, xfs, then underscore grow fs. We are growing the file system of an existing volume. Hyphen D, if you want to increase the root volume, you added size to root volume, gave slash. So, but we have added the volume size to new volume. Then click on enter. There you observe it got, available. Then just verify df space capital hyphen th. See here, the size is 2 GB now. So with just a couple of commands, we have increased the size. So this is a command xfs grow fs hyphen d. Then the mount point. Where is your mount point? For example, you have increased this 30 GB volume. What you need to give in this place? You just need to give slash. That's it. Right? So this is increasing an existing volume size. Right. So any questions on this, guys? I think this is what the question someone about to ask, right? I'm not sure whose that is, but someone about to ask that question. So that basically that's a topic we discuss now.
So Avinash, this is a
Yes,
tool like
please.
XFS Grow is a tool that we need to install. If some of the
Yes.
organization we don't have an permission to install any new software to the server systems. So in that case, take an example for Red Hat. So which software or which tool you will
See, this is same, like, if you're using XFS file system, this is a command to increase that. So if you don't have permission at OS level to install something, basically OS ops is going to take care about that. So this point I already mentioned. To understand the process completely, we are discussing these things, but OS level operations, we really don't perform in organization if it is a big project or enterprise level project. So, but by default, you will get this for Amazon Linux and most of the Linux operating systems. So if you're using another file system, for example, if you're using ext4, everyone 90% we are using XFS only. But if you are using ext4, we can use a command called resize to FS. So this is a command where you can use to resize an ext4 volume. So these commands by default you will get it. So you can use resize to FS or XFS Grow.
got it, Avinash. Actually, we use this resize to FS1.
Okay, so basically that is for ext3, ext4, it works actually.
Agree.
But that is bit outdated file systems. Now I can see like most of the organizations are using XFS only.
Thanks. Got it.
Yeah. So now if you want to detach this from this EC2 instance to attach that, that is not a big thing actually. You just launch an EC2 instance, detach this volume from here, and whenever you attach there, verify whether you have a file system or not. So for that, use this. We definitely have a file system. We even have some data also. So whenever you have this file system, do we need to create MKFS? Definitely not. Whenever you're executing this command, existing file system is going to be erased. So don't do that. So then create a folder, then mount it. Then you can see all the data. So take that as a task. It's not going to take a couple of minutes to show that, but I want you to give a try. So whatever the volume you have increased and all, detach that volume from instance 1, attach it to another EC2 instance and made it available. That is a task 1. So launch an Amazon Linux instance, associate a volume. So let's take 1 GB and make it available. Then make it available after that. So then increase the size to 2 GB. So make that also available. So then after, write some data. Write some data to 2 GB volume. Now launch another Linux instance in same AZ or different AZ. That is your wish. Launch another EC2 Linux instance and detach the 2 GB volume from instance 1 and attach here and make it available and verify the data whether you have all the data or not, right? So this is another thing when coming to volumes. So the same things we discussed with Windows also. We have associated, we made it available. We have increased the size of that volume. Then what we did, we have detached from instance 1, we attached to instance 2, then we verified. So you know what exactly snapshot concept and all that you can try. So now I'm going to make it as a web server just to show you that, AMI option with Linux operating system. So I'm going to, this session got struck. So I'm going to make it as a web server. So then I'm going to create a AMI of this particular EC2 instance. From that AMI, I'm going to launch a new EC2 instance. Then we'll verify whether we have all the data and all. So we have like a multiple volumes and all, and it's a permanent mount and all, fine. Along with that, yum install stdpd-y. So I'm going to make it as a web server. So then after service stdpd start. So chk config stdpd on. So now we made that service as a logon service also, just to just verify the output. So we are able to get this test page and verify your security groups or whenever you are not getting this page. Now let me navigate to var html. So then I'm going to create a file vim index.html. So then press I. Okay, so then whatever the one you want to, I'm going to write as a header one. So this is my web server, then closing the header. Press escape :WQ. All right, whenever we go here, give a refresh, there you can see this is my web server. We got this. All right, so now I have a web server, I have some custom data, I have additional volume. These all things required for my another EC2 instance, or I want to create a AMI of this. So as we discussed, the best practice is stop the EC2 instance. Navigate here. I'm stopping the EC2 instance. You can keep this instance in running state and you can do that. But for best result or best practice, you can. So last time we stopped and we did that, right? So this time I'll keep it in running state. So then actions, image and template, create image. Click on create image. What is the image name you want to give? My Linux Golden AMI. So Linux instance with you know, Apache additional volume and all. Then no reboot or reboot. Whenever you are selecting no reboot, then only that instance is not going to reboot. Otherwise, it's going to reboot. See, do you want to get 8 GB volume as well as 2 GB volume? 8 GB we can't remove. Why? Because it contains operating system. But this 2 GB we have a choice. This 2 GB we have a choice that here, so we can delete it. And by default, whenever you launch an EC2 instance, so for this 2 GB volume, do you want to get enabled with this delete and termination? That also you can select. So I'm selecting this option along with the 2 GB. Then scroll down, click on create image. So as you aware, so automatically couple of an AMI is going to create. In backend, couple of snapshots are going to create. For every volume, one snapshot is going to create. We can find that here. So you can scroll down and here you can see dev xpda 8 GB volume is there. This is a 8 GB volume. This is a 2 GB volume. In couple of minutes, we are going to get the snapshot ID of this particular volume and this particular volume also. So this is the creation is started. And for Linux operating system, we have an advantage, guys. See, for Windows, if you lose a key pair, so you need to follow the systems manager mechanism. I'll explain that after a couple of sessions later. But for Linux instances, we have an advantage that you have instance one, that associated with a key pair, then you lost that key pair. Then how you can recover it? So the process is create a golden AMI of instance one. Create a golden AMI of instance one, first thing. Then launch instance 2 from golden AMI. Technically, this instance 2 and instance 1 is same or not? So you have taken this instance, you created a golden AMI. From that golden AMI, you are launching this instance. So technically, both are same. Launch instance 2 from golden AMI. While launching, associate new key pair to this instance 2. Associate a new key pair to this instance 2. So now, if you have that key pair 1, you can use that, or if you have key pair 2 also, you can use that. Right, both key pairs is going to work. I'll show you that whenever we are launching. So cracking a Linux instance, if we lose a key pair, is like a cakewalk. It's not a big thing for us. So this is still creating. But for Windows, we need to depend on Systems Manager. We need to run an EC2 rescue tool. Whenever we run that EC2 rescue tool, so then we can crack that. So if you're too curious at moment, go to this particular video. Reset Windows EC2 instance administrator password. If you lost this is the one. However, I'll show you this. So this is the one. Whatever the instance we have lost the password, by using Systems Manager, I'm recovering it. So if you are too curious at moment, you can go with that. Otherwise, let's wait for the Systems Manager session. All right. So here is my Windows instance. Okay, here is my Linux instance. My golden AMI is ready. And I can start launching an EC2 instance from this. So in backend, 2 snapshots create. See this 8 GB snapshot, 2 GB snapshot. It is created by a request for create image request. Okay, and these snapshot IDs also we can find here. See, this is a snapshot ID for 8 GB volume. This is a snapshot ID for 2 GB volume. The same thing you can find it here. 86 AAD. See, AADD, right? And 8615. Same thing. Now, I'm going to launch an instance from this golden AMI. Click on launch instance, T2 micro, all the default options, storage. See, we are getting 8 GB as well as 2 GB. And this 2 GB delete and termination is enabled. This setting came from golden AMI setting. While creating, I selected this feature, right? That's why I got this. Then click on next. This is new instance from golden AMI. Then click on next. What is the security group you want to use? I'm going to use same security group, Linux SZ, review and launch. So sometime back I told, for example, you have lost access to this AWS 730 KP. So then create a new key pair. So temp KP is the name I'm giving. Download this key pair. So then click on launch instance. So let's assume you have lost access to that existing key pair and you have created a golden AMI. While launching in final step, you have associated a new key pair, right? So now go here, pick the instance. So this is a new instance from golden AMI. Let's wait for a minute. Okay, so since this new instance is up and running, so let's grab the public IP address. I haven't get connected to it. See, we are able to get the output exactly same as previous server. Right. So now let's get connected to it. So I'm going to take cmd ssh-i. Just observe, I'm using temporary key pair, temp kp. I'm not using that existing one. So then EC2-user at the rate, then give the public IP address. Then click on enter. See, it is working. You might get a doubt how it is working and all. So the reason is, see, whenever you gave ls-a, this .ssh folder is there, right? So whenever you go inside the .ssh, if you gave ls, authorized keys file is there. If you just open that authorized keys, see, earlier we have only AWS 730 KP, but now we even got the temp KP also. So that's the reason. So both key pairs work for us. So as we lost access to this, do we really need to have this entry? No, right? Whenever you have access, whenever you got access to the server, so in future we might get this key pair, or this key pair might go into someone else's hand. So he might log into the server. To not get into such type of issues, we are going to delete this. So VIM authorized keys, press double D, that entire entry is gone. Press escape :WQ. So now if you are giving authorized keys, only temp KP is there. So we can use only temp KP to get connected to this new instance now. So just because of this entry, so how many key pairs you are going to add? So this file keep on adding all the files here. So that's why you can use multiple files or multiple key pairs at your time to get connected to this instance. And so generally at enterprise level, once we get connected to these Linux instances, we can disable this key pair access and we can set up our own passwords and all. So this process, how to create a user, how to make as administrator user, and how to provide access, how to directly log in as a root user and all, these all things I have explained in the Linux course, Linux shared course. So please go through that course if you want to gain more OS level knowledge and all, right? So that is a golden AMI of our Linux instance. And if you verify within this new instance, if you give df space -th, see, we even have this. Whenever we go to this home of EC2-user, new volume, if you give ls, see here, a.txt, b.txt, test.txt also is there here. Okay, so we are able to get all the data, all the settings and all to our new EC2 instance here. That is launched from Golden AMI, right? So one small thing I want to add before closing the session, that in Windows operating system or Linux operating system, we have an option called pipe option that we are going to use in our tomorrow session. So whatever the thing you are going to give next to echo, for example, next to echo, I am giving all these things. See, that is what the output. So I'm giving test, test, test. See, that is what the output next to echo. So similarly in Linux operating system also, echo, test, echo, test, test. See, whatever the one we are giving next to echo, it is displaying same in the terminal. Now, instead of writing this output to the terminal, I want to pipe that output to a file. So for that, we are going to have an option called piping. So you can give one greater than symbol or two greater than symbols. One greater than symbol is going to override if we have any data in the file, right? Two greater than symbols, it's going to add information to that existing data. So let me show you. I'm going to say, do I have any file? Only new volume is there. Apart from that, no file available. But this time I'm going to get echo test and I'm going to pipe the output. I'm telling to my OS, okay, don't write the output to my console, a terminal, write this output to a file called test.txt. When I click on enter, see that output is not here. Where is that output? The output written to that, test.txt file. So now I'm going to give test one. I'm writing this output. I am writing test two. I'm writing test3. Okay, now if I give cat text.txt, see, I did test, test2, test3. So, but it is containing only latest information. See, whenever you're using only one greater than symbol, whatever existing data you have in this file, it is going to override and only latest information is going to written there. But whenever you're using two greater than symbols, whatever the data you already have within this file, it won't override. It is going to add along with that. So same commands I'm going to execute now. Test1. Oh, come on. I have given only one greater than symbol. So let me give test1, two greater than symbols. Test2, two greater than symbols. Test3, three greater than symbols. So now if you are giving cat test.txt, see here, test1, test1, test2, test3. Why we are using two greater than symbols? Now if I am giving test4, see, if you observe cat test.txt, see test4 also added. But if you are giving only one greater than symbol, while giving test4, I have given only one greater than symbol. See, only test4 is there. So basically one greater than symbol or two greater than symbols. Override and add the latest output or add information to that existing data. That is what this pipe will do. So whenever you're using bootstrap scripting and all, so what we can do, we can generate a string. So my current path is, my print working directory is home ec2-user. Okay, from here I can generate a string echo. I'm giving a header echo test and I'm closing the header. Where do you want to write this file? So I'm going to use one greater than or two greater than symbols. Okay, so now where do you want to? Under var /html/ I want to write this to index.html. If I click on enter, if we go here, if we give a refresh, see here echo test is added. So where we are in this particular location somewhere else, but by using this command we did that. So if we don't give the two greater than symbol, if we give only one greater than symbol, so if we go here, only echo test is there. So while using bootstrap script, tomorrow we will discuss about that. What is bootstrap script or user data? So here we can deliver it. So that is what the piping information. The same thing works in Windows operating system also. For example, I'm giving directory. It is showing all these files. Whatever the data it is showing, I want to write it to a particular file. So directory command, whatever output you are getting, write it to dir.txt. Where do you want to create this? You can even choose that. C drive, dir.txt, access denied. So there we can create a folder. Let me pick E. Do I have that path? F drive. Okay, I don't have E. So let me take this. Yes. So whatever output I am getting here, dir, I am writing to F drive. Come on, in F drive also access denied. Let me take a command prompt with admin permissions. Give a right click, run as administrator. Okay. Now dir, it is many files we have under system32. Okay, 4000 files. So whatever the command output we are getting, I want to write it to this fads, and there test.txt I want to write. So there we are going to get a file called test.txt. If we open this, see here, these all of the data we have. So same thing, it works in Windows operating system as well as Linux, right? So that is a mechanism. It works in Windows operating system also, right? So any questions on this Linux instance, volumes, or image creation process? Any questions for me, guys?
Avinash, so I was asking, right? I mean, you created a new directory, new volume,
Mhm.
mtdir, right? And then you mounted the volume, the newly created from AWS console on that new volume. So in case if there is some data which is already there inside my new volume directory, so that will also be available in my
It
volume.
won't allow. It won't allow, first of all.
Okay, it
It
won't
won't
allow to
allow you to
mount.
mount. Yes.
Okay, okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. So don't forget to deregister your AMI and deleting the snapshots after deregistering. So then don't forget to terminate your EC2 instance. So in our next session, we will discuss about user data and metadata and instance store volumes. Along with the EBS, we have another one, instance store. That's just for certification point of view, we will discuss. And then we are going to start with the load balancing on our AWS environment. All right. So please spare some time. Please practice. If you haven't created your AWS account, do that immediately. Okay. So don't wait for some more days and all. Do that immediately and terminate your instances once you're done with the lab. Right. So that's it for today's session. See you again tomorrow, guys. Thank you.